You're not here to be controlled by someone else's attitude. You're not on this earth to hand over your peace like it's free candy. The second you let someone push your buttons, they own you. And that's done. Starting now. When someone cuts you off, talks over you, disrespects you, pause, breathe. Because your reaction, that's the real power. That's the moment you decide if they get access to your emotions or not. And trust me, not everyone deserves front row seats to your state of mind. People will test you. They'll throw jabs, project their pain, try to shake your calm just to feel like they matter. But here's the truth. Their storm isn't your storm unless you walk into it. So don't. Stand firm. Let their chaos crash around you while you stay rooted like a damn mountain. You want real strength? It's not yelling back. It's not proving a point. It's mastering the art of non-reaction. That's when you rise above. Not because you're weak, but because you're untouchable. Because your energy is too valuable to be wasted on nonsense. They don't get to rent space in your head. They don't get to steer your day. And they sure as hell don't get to shrink you. You feel that heat inside when you're triggered? Good. That's your fire. Use it to forge discipline. Use it to build armor so thick no words, no looks, no actions break through. They're gonna test you. People are gonna say reckless things. Push your buttons, act like they know you, try to label you, disrespect you, all of it. And in that moment, you're gonna feel the heat rise. That flash of emotion in your gut, the tightness in your chest, the clench in your jaw. That's your body saying react. But here's the truth, you don't have to. Let's make this simple. Your reaction is your responsibility, period. That's not just some motivational line to sound good. It's a lifestyle, a discipline. If you want real power in this world, you stop giving your emotions away to people who haven't earned it. You stop letting someone else's bad day become yours. You stop playing the game of they made me angry. No, they didn't. You allowed it. Someone cut you off in traffic? Boom. Middle finger yelling, blood pressure rising. For what? You're going to carry that to work, into your house, into your conversations later, all because of someone you'll never meet again? That's emotional bankruptcy. That's you spending energy on people who don't matter. You want peace? It starts with owning everything you feel. Not just the calm, not just the gratitude, but the anger too. You grab it by the throat and say, this is mine. I choose what happens next. Because here's the harsh truth most people won't tell you. No one can make you feel anything without your permission. You've just been conditioned to believe otherwise. Conditioned to react. Conditioned to match energy. Conditioned to defend yourself, even when it costs your calm. But not anymore. From now on, you operate from choice, not reaction. You decide how you show up. Someone gets loud with you, doesn't mean you have to get loud back. Someone insults you, that's a reflection of them, not you. Don't take it on like it's yours to carry. You ever see someone completely unbothered by disrespect? That's not weakness, that's mastery. That's someone who understands they don't need to prove their worth to someone who doesn't even know it. Look, we all feel anger. It's human. It's part of the wire. But maturity, control, power, that's in what you do with it. It's not about suppressing it. It's about directing it. You turn that fire into fuel. You use it to sharpen your discipline. You use it to set standards. You use it to grow so strong inside that the outside world can't even shake your calm. People will throw energy at you. Negative, reckless, messy energy. It's up to you to decide if you catch it or let it fall. And here's the kicker. You can't control. Not your boss, not your family, not your friends, not the random person online. But you can control you. And that's all the control you'll ever need. So when the moment comes, and it will come when someone pushes, when someone tries to get under your skin, pause, breathe, remind yourself, this moment doesn't own me. I own this moment. That's where the real power is, not in clapping back, not in matching disrespect, but in holding your line, in standing tall while they spiral, in protecting your peace like it's your most valuable asset. Because it is. And guess what? The more you do this, the easier it gets. At first it'll feel unnatural. Your body will scream to react. But stay calm. Train your response. With every pause, every breath, every choice to walk away, or stay composed, you're building emotional muscle. And soon enough, you'll find yourself in situations that used to rattle you. And now, they don't even touch you. Because you're not handing over your power anymore. You're not letting anyone else write your emotional story. You're the one with the pen now. And that is how you win. That moment right before you react. That's the moment that changes everything. That pause, that breath, that split second where you can either explode or hold. That's the difference between chaos and control, between regret and power, between being ruled by your emotions or rising above them like a damn commander of your own life. Most people never even realize it exists. They get triggered and boom, words fly, fists clench, volume rises, and now they're stuck in cleanup mode, trying to undo what could have been prevented with 1 second of stillness. But that's not how they were taught. They were raised in environments where reaction was survival. Someone pushes you, you push back. Someone disrespects you, you go 10 times harder. They never learn the power of restraint, not weakness. Restraint, that's the higher level. That pause before the trigger, that's your battlefield. That's where the work happens. Because if you can master that, you can master you. When something or someone hits that nerve, says the thing, does the thing, crosses the line, you don't just go autopilot. You notice it, you feel the fire build, and instead of letting it consume you, you lean in and it is a choice. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You are not some emotional robot on a fixed program. You have the ability to stop, to observe, to breathe. That's where your strength is, not in being numb, not in pretending it doesn't affect you, but in holding the line long enough to respond with purpose instead of reacting out of pain. Because that moment right there, that's when you reclaim your power. You take back the wheel. You don't let the other person drive your state of mind. You don't let their attitude write your script. You say, no, I'm in control of me, not you, and you hold. Now listen, this ain't easy. It takes discipline. It takes awareness. It takes failing sometimes, catching yourself mid-react, owning it, learning from it. You might mess up, you might lash out, but if you keep showing up, keep working the pause, keep owning that space, before the fire hits, you'll get sharper, stronger, more precise. Because here's what happens over time. You stop getting dragged into every argument. You stop letting people yank you into their drama. You stop being someone who can be baited. And let me tell you, being unbaitable, that's rare. That's power most people will never touch. You ever see someone calm in the middle of chaos? Not because they're checked out, but because they're locked in. That's what happens when you master the pause. They could be getting yelled at, insulted, dismissed, but they don't flinch. They process, they breathe, they choose. That's not apathy. That's precision. Because here's the truth. Every reaction has a cost. Words you can't take back, energy you can't recover, reputations you can damage, relationships you can fracture, and all because you didn't hold the line for 1 more second. That second is everything. And it's not just about dealing with other people. It's about you, your peace, your clarity, your energy. You can't build anything meaningful in life if you're constantly reacting, constantly triggered, constantly spinning in emotional chaos. You want success, you want leadership, you want deep relationships, then build the pause. Build the space where you can say, okay, I feel it, but I don't have to act on it. It's not suppression, it's selection. You don't ignore your feelings. You command them. You use them like tools, like weapons, like fire you control, not fire that consumes you. So next time someone tests you, because they will, you'll feel that moment rise. And in that moment you'll remember this. Right here, right now, I get to choose. I don't owe anyone a reaction. I owe myself peace. You pause, you breathe, and just like that, you don't just survive the moment, you own it. That's how you break the cycle. That's how you stay in control, not by force, not by fear, but by mastering the pause before the trigger. Because once you do that, you've got to stop picking up what doesn't belong to you. That look they gave you, the tone they used, the insult they threw. It's not yours. That drama they walked in with, it's theirs. But here you are, carrying it like it has your name on it, and you wonder why your peace keeps slipping away. You wonder why you're drained, frustrated, angry over stuff that has nothing to do with you. This is the hard truth. Not every problem is your problem. Not every attitude is your invitation. Not every storm needs your presence. People will walk into a room with their own mess and try to hand you the weight of it, like it's your job to carry it for them. But it's not. In the moment you realize that is the moment you take your power back. They snapped at you. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe maybe they're so caught up in their own mental chaos that they can't see straight. But you don't have to receive that energy. Just because someone throws a punch doesn't mean you have to swing back. Just because someone drops a grenade doesn't mean you have to blow up with them. This isn't about being passive. This is about being intentional. It's about choosing what energy you allow into your space. Think about it like this. You've got a limited amount of emotional energy every day. And the more you spend it on junk that's not yours, the less you've got left for what really matters. Your goals, your relationships, your growth, your peace. You've got to become a gatekeeper for your own mental space. Ruthless, discerning, protective. When someone tries to dump their negativity on you, you pause and say no thanks. That's yours. Let them carry what they brought. Let them feel the weight of their own choices. You're not responsible for fixing them, explaining yourself to them, or reacting to their mess. You're responsible for you. That's it. We live in a world where everybody wants to pull you into something. Arguments, gossip, online drama, fake outrage. Everybody's offended, triggered, loud, and if you're not careful, you'll start carrying that noise around like it's your burden to bear. But it's not. You weren't built to carry the emotional chaos of the world. You were built to lead yourself first. Detachment isn't cold. Detachment is clarity. It's seeing what's happening, recognizing what's not yours, and refusing to absorb it. It's walking into a storm and staying dry, because you brought your own roof. That's what emotional maturity looks like. That's what peace in motion looks like. You're not heartless because you choose not to respond. You're not rude because you choose silence. You're not arrogant because you don't chase approval. You're just done. Done letting the outside world decide your inner world. Done letting other people's dysfunction drag you down. Done being a sponge for energy that was never meant for you in the first place. Let them be loud. Let them be bitter. Let them misunderstand you. That's not your fight. Your fight is to stay grounded, to keep your head clear, to keep your peace in the middle of the noise. That's the fight worth showing up for. Because when you stop taking things personally, when you stop emotionally attaching to every slight, every tone, every mood swing, you become dangerous in the best way, unshakable, calm, under pressure, focused when others spiral. While they waste their energy trying to pull you down, you're building healing, moving forward. The truth is, people will always have something to say, always have something to throw, but it only hits you if you catch it. So stop catching it, let it fall, let it bounce, let them deal with the mess they made. You stay steady, you stay centered, because you've got things to do, a life to build, a mission to chase, and none of that includes dragging around someone else's emotional baggage. That's not your job. Your job is to protect your space, guard your energy, and move like someone who knows their worth. And when you do that consistently, you stop being bothered, you stop being triggered, you stop being pulled into every storm, and you start living fully, freely, and without the emotional weight of things that were never yours to begin with. You don't need to raise your voice to raise your standards. You don't need to fight to prove you're done. You don't need to clap back to show strength. Sometimes the loudest power is the silence that follows a clear boundary. The world's gotten this twisted idea that walking away means weakness. But let's get one thing straight. Real strength isn't in the argument. It's in knowing you don't owe one. There comes a time when you realize not every situation deserves your fire. Not every person has earned your energy. You can still be strong, still be bold, still be grounded and not engage. Because every time you argue with someone who refuses to understand you, you trade your peace for noise, and that's not a deal worth making. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with locks. You decide who gets in, you decide what you tolerate, and here's the real kicker. Once you start setting boundaries, people will get uncomfortable. Why? Because they were comfortable with the version of you that over-explained, that stayed silent to keep the peace, that reacted to every jab, that always answered the phone no matter how drained you were. That version of you is gone. Now you choose peace over pettiness. Now you choose silence over shouting. Now you choose walking away over diving into the mud. Not because you can't handle the heat, but because you are the fire and not everybody deserves to stand close to it. You've got to stop thinking you need to fight every battle that shows up in front of you. You don't. Some of them are traps. Some are distractions. Some are designed to pull you down to a level you've already outgrown. You can be kind, respectful, and still say no, this doesn't work for me. That's a boundary. You can love someone deeply and still say I won't allow this behavior anymore. That's a boundary. You can walk away without a dramatic exit, without a final word, without burning anything down, and that's still a boundary. And here's what most people miss. Boundaries are not for them. They're for you. They're your compass, your protection, your way of telling the world, I know who I am and I know what I allow into my life. Because if you don't set the tone, someone else will, and they'll make you dance to music you don't even like. People will test you. They'll push, they'll guilt trip, they'll act like you're the problem for not reacting the way they want. Let them talk, let them twist the story. You don't have to clear your name when your peace already speaks for itself. Stay grounded, stay focused, stay out of the mud. The more you protect your boundaries, the more people will either step up or step away, and both are wins. The right people will respect your stand, the wrong ones will reveal themselves the moment you stop bending. That's not loss, that's clarity. You don't need drama to validate your decision. You don't need a screaming match to mark your worth. You don't need closure from people who never cared about giving. You are not here to prove a point.
You're here to live in peace. And peace requires space. Space from chaos, space from guilt, space from patterns that keep pulling you into the same emotional battles over and over again. You want real power. Set a boundary without explanation. Walk away without a scene. Say no without softening it. And watch how the world adjusts to your energy. Watch how the noise quiets. Watch how the distractions fade. That's the shift. That's the moment you stop reacting to everything and start creating the life you want. Boundaries are not selfish. They're survival. They're sanity. They're strength. They're the quiet lines that say I matter. My peace matters. My time matters. And when you honor them, you stop begging for respect and start commanding it without saying a word. So let people misunderstand you. Let them get upset. Let them call you cold or distant or too much. That's fine. That's noise. What you're building is bigger than their opinion. What you're protecting is deeper than their reaction. And what you're choosing, peace, clarity, power, is worth every bit of distance it takes to protect it. You don't need to win the argument. You just need to win back your peace. And that happens the second you stop battling for approval and start building boundaries like your life depends on it. Because sometimes it does. You want to stop being angry all the time. You want to stop letting people bother you, mess with your peace, rattle your calm. Then here's the truth. You've got to train for it. You've got to build that inner armor every single day. This isn't about hoping things get easier. It's about getting stronger. Because life won't slow down for you. People won't suddenly become kinder, more understanding, or less triggering. But you can become unshakable if you're willing to do the work. Most people walk into the day like it's just gonna go their way. No prep, no mental focus, no foundation. And then boom, something small throws them off. A comment, a text, a look. Now their whole energy is wrecked, and they wonder why they keep spiraling. It's because they didn't build anything to protect themselves. They went out into the world emotionally naked. You don't rise above triggers by accident. You rise above them through discipline. And I'm not talking about surface level stuff. I'm talking about waking up and choosing, before the world gets a piece of you, how you're going to show up. That's mindset work. That's the foundation. It's meditation. It's journaling. It's silence. It's intention. It's practicing gratitude when complaining would be easier. It's telling yourself, no matter what comes at me today, I stay grounded. I stay in control. You build armor by mastering your inputs. What are you feeding your mind? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are you watching, scrolling, consuming? Because if you fill your head with chaos first thing in the morning, you can't expect to walk in peace. If your circle is full of complainers, you'll start complaining. If you're always reactive online, don't be surprised when you're reactive in real life too. Armor doesn't just show up, you build it, with reps, with habits, with choices. Every time you resist snapping back, every time you breathe instead of yelling, every time you walk away instead of engaging, that's a rep. And those reps stack. They harden you, not in a bitter way but in a wise way. They sharpen your focus, calm your nervous system, and train your emotions to serve you, not control you. But let's be real. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. It's not social media worthy. It's work done in silence, work done in early mornings, in late nights, in moments no one claps for. But that's where the fire is. That's where the power lives. Because when you do that kind of work, people can throw whatever they want at you and it just bounces off. You stop reacting. You stop personalizing. You start choosing how you want to feel, not just absorbing everything around you. And this isn't about being emotionless. You're human. You feel, you hurt, you get frustrated, but emotional strength means you don't let any of that control your next move. You feel it, you face it, and then you move through it without letting it hijack your day, your mindset, or your mission. You've got to get serious about this, because if you don't, you'll keep getting knocked around by life like a leaf in the wind. One message ruins your day. One rude person at work ruins your energy. One argument derails your focus. That's not freedom. That's emotional slavery. In the way I train, every single day, your morning routine, that's your shield. Your boundaries, that's your helmet. Your self-talk, that's your sword. And when you carry those with you, you stop living at the mercy of other people's moods, opinions, and nonsense. You move with clarity, with control, with intention. So don't wait for the next storm to try and figure this out. Build now. Build when it's quiet. Build before the chaos. Because when life hits, and it will, you won't fold. You won't react. You won't shatter. You'll stand tall in the middle of it. Calm, steady, powerful. Not because you're lucky, not because you don't care, but because you trained for this. You showed up for yourself when nobody was watching. You built the armor that no one else could give you. And now you walk through fire and don't even sweat. That's the win. That's the goal. Not to avoid the hard stuff, but to be so strong inside. The hard stuff never owns you again. At some point you stop blaming the world for your emotions, and start owning everything. You stop saying they made me mad, and start saying I chose. You stop reacting, stop explaining, stop being pulled into storms that have nothing to do with you. That's when the shift happens. That's when the anger fades. That's when you stop being bothered by what doesn't deserve your energy. You've learned now. Your reaction is your responsibility. You've got the power to pause before the trigger hits. You don't need to carry emotions that don't belong to you. You don't have to fight every battle, you just have to protect your boundary. And you don't wait for life to be calm. You train for it. You build that unshakable mind day in, day out. Because this isn't about becoming cold, it's about becoming clear. This isn't about ignoring pain. It's about not letting it run your life. You get to choose how you show up. You get to decide what affects you. You get to walk through the fire and not let it burn. The version of you that once got triggered, flustered, thrown off by everyone else, that version's done, gone. You've got standards now, strength now, stillness now. And when you move through life with that kind of control, no one owns you. No one gets to shake your peace.